Hello everyone, Graham here from Evan Central Christmas Lights, doing my behind the scenes video for 2018. Most regular viewers will probably know most of the bits and pieces behind my show, but I'll gloss over them a bit more this year for new viewers. But for regular viewers, you'll notice some nice changes to the display this year, or some additions. So without further ado, let's get into the display. So new for this year are these Boscoyo candy canes, or the decor ones, which are pre-painted, so they look a little bit nicer during the day. These are 48 node canes. In these I have, which ones are these ones? These are the 5 volt WS2811 pixel nodes, and I have 6 of these candy canes, 3 right facing, 3 left facing, and to attach these to get them to stand up, I'm using these shepherd hooks, which I got a pack of 10 of those. So I'm using 6 for the candy canes, and they seem to be working just fine. Just a couple of zip ties to hold them in place, and they've got double stake, so they're pretty solid. Like they've got a bit of flexibility to move in the wind or whatever, but they haven't moved really anywhere so far for the first week or so. So 6 of those, and then the remaining 4 I've just used for my safety barrier out the front, which is just a bit of green rope, and I've had an acrylic stein laser cut and printed out, so that should last a couple of seasons hopefully. I've got my outdoor speaker here, so people who are just walking past can hear the lights rather than tuning in to the FM frequency. The arches are back again this year. That's just 2.5 meters of 2811 strip, 12 volt again. 12 volts for these ones. This is air seeded tube, cut to about 2.6 meters, so a little bit longer. And the reason being, it allows for a bit of space down the bottom for the connection. So you can put the feed in and you're not actually blocking some of the last couple of LEDs. The Coro stars are back again this year. It's just 3 12 volt 2811 modules per star. Quite effective. And that's what's out on the front. The way that I've got things connected up, I'll go through shortly. My Merry Christmas node sign, one of the first pixel items that I've ever done in the display, is back once again, still going strong with its original pixels in it after 3 or 4 seasons. They're also 5 volt, they're the same as same type as what's in the candy canes. The Coro presents are back this year, so these are the same modules as these, 12 volt 2811. That's what's inside the presents. But they now have a new home resting underneath the mega tree. Is our latest and greatest addition to the display this year. So some quick specs about this tree. I bought this second hand, but all the pixels on it have been replaced this year, so they're all brand new pixels. You can see it's sort of webbing strapping is being used. These are 12 volt 2811 square type nodes, so if there's any issues with them, it's quite easy just to cut them out and replace them. Touch wood, haven't needed to do that just yet. You wouldn't hope so in its first season. The tree has been built and designed and fabricated to be a 360 degree tree, and I have enough strands and pixels to do so, but given the tree's location in my yard and the size of the display, thought it was a bit overkill and unnecessary. So I've got 20 strands, which makes it about 200 degrees or so. As you can see, if we come from behind, you can see the bar that goes across the middle here, that's obviously representing 180, and I've got 2 strands on the left side and 1 on the right side, so it's a bit over 180, so it's probably around 200, 220 degrees altogether. This controller box that also came with it when I purchased has a 12 volt but 600 watt power supply in it, which can easily run the entire tree when it's at 360, so it certainly is capable with the reduced amount of strands that I'm using. It also has a J1 Sys P2 controller in it, which is controlling the entire tree. So 20 strands of 42 pixels each, meaning if my maths is correct and my memory serves well, it's 840 pixels that I have on this tree. At the top of the tree is the star topper. The one that came with it was just dumb modules, so the entire thing was just one color at any given time. I've refabricated a new topper and put in pixel modules, again the same type that's in the Coro Presence and in these stars, the 12 volt modules, and I'll put a couple of pieces of Coro divider within, so it means that I can light up specific sections and sequence different sections if I need to. But the tree itself, it's about 3.5 meters from the base ring to the top ring. So when you add on the star and the little bit of clearance off the ground, you're probably looking at about a 4 meter tall mega tree, which in comparison to my roof line is pretty much near the top of that. The spinners back again. You'll notice that the mini trees that I normally have in between them I've gotten rid of, because you probably wouldn't be able to see them really from the mega tree. It'd probably distract away too much from that. The spinners are 12 volt 2811 strip. The Kmart stars are back as well. These are 12 volt 2811 nodes. I have new floods this year. These are the Raywu 9 to 10 watt. They say 10, but I think the paperwork and the specs are actually 9 watt. So I've got 4 of those all pointing up against the wall. And even though they're waterproof as they are, I'm still using the Coro waterproofing boxes that I made for my previous floods, which didn't end up working. So it adds an extra layer of weather protection, but it also helps cut down the amount of wide light spill that these floods give. If I just left them, the entire area would just be lit up. But those Coro protectors help to sort of channel the light upwards a bit more. New this year, again for the display, is the Boscoyo spiderweb, and cat not included. Now you might be thinking, why have I got a spiderweb for a Christmas show? What I've done is with the NX lights, I've created a sub-model in here to light up only certain sections, so that it actually looks like a snowflake. So I never actually light up the entire thing, and it's just the snowflake that has the lights lighting up. Again, these are the same nodes that are on the mega tree, so they're the 12 volt square type nodes. This is in a electrical conduit frame, and then just zip tied to a couple of metal stakes in the ground, which is holding it in place up against the house anyway, so it's not really moving too far. Stars, as I said, still got those. The motifs So the reindeer, again 2811 modules, but these are 5 volt. Same as the Merry Christmas sign, Santa motif. But had both these motifs last year, but I've added a new one this year, which is the bells. So again, they're 5 volt. The singing faces, choro singing faces that I made. So it got the 12 volt 2811 modules within those. 4 P10 panels for my scrolling sign, again running off 5 volts. Coming over to the side, the matrix, P10 matrix. This is 5x5 P10 panels, so 25 panels altogether. And then of course the garage and roof lines are 2811 strip. I'll be replacing these next year. I'm trying to move away from strip, as it is a bit of a pain in the butt to repair if there are any issues. So I've already bought all the nodes that I'm going to use to replace all the roof and garage outlines. For those who are interested in how to attach things on the gutters, all my strip is just zip tied to electrical conduit, and then that conduit is then attached through. There's some overflow gaps in the guttering, so I just zip tie to those. On the top of the garage here, I just use these saddle clips and screw them to the wooden frame. But everywhere else, and this goes for the roof as well, I use these, hopefully you can see them, the zip tie or cable tie mounts, a silicone to the brickwork here and on the roof tiles. And then it's just a case of, once that's cured, after 24 hours, you just zip tie the conduit to that. It just holds it all in place.